Hello everybody, my name is Chase Hukel, and I will be filling in for SJWS Central. I recently spoke with him online, and he said he wanted me to fill in as I'm a native English speaker, and he feels as though I may be able to give a more interactive version for all of you, the fans. So, I'm not going to give you that much about me, but it's very nice to meet you. I very much hope they actually like me on this show. So, nice to meet you. Alright, so, let's hop right into it. Ghost Recon Breakpoint not making political statements. Ubisoft insists, despite obvious themes. We're creating a game here, we're not trying to make political statements in our games. Now this, right off the bat, I think is a great move. There's been so much lately of companies getting woke and thus going broke. Such as, let's see here, the first one that pops into mind, Gillette, Converse, Ben & Jerry, oh, that's right, Burger King recently. And I think companies should really stay out of politics, because no matter what side they lean on, if they decide to support a conservative side, or if they decide to support a more liberal side, they're going to lose money. For example, Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, although she stayed out of politics for a while, then all of a sudden when she came out as a leftist, she lost almost half of her fan base. But I digress. Let's get back into the news here. Ubisoft has received criticism in the past for not tackling the political issues its games touch upon. And now, despite the newly announced game Ghost Recon Breakpoint bearing the Tom Clancy branding and featuring some heavy political topics, the company's stance remains unchanged. Great! Good job! How can this possibly go wrong? Breakpoint's story focuses on a Silicon Valley genius who develops advanced AI and drones to help humanity and save American lives. The tech giant and its drone army are hijacked by a group of rogue US soldiers, and the game's reveal stream states that drones assassinate an election candidate. Despite all this, lead developer Sebastian Lepestre says Ubisoft isn't trying to make any particular point.
Are you sure about that?
I think it depends on which side of the political spectrum this electoral candidate is running on. If it's more conservative, then it's obviously going to be taken as an anti-Trump message. If the candidate is more on the leftist side, then it's obviously going to be taken as an anti-SJW, anti-liberal. We just don't know yet. We're creating a game here. We're not trying to make political statements in our games, he told GameSpot. We've rooted ourselves in reality, and you'll get what you get out of our playthrough. Everybody will get something different out of the experience. The story might make you see different situations, but we're not trying to guide anybody or to make any sorts of statements. It's a what-if scenario. It's Tom Clancy. It's purely fictional. Okay, great. This is great. What this kind of reminds me of is the movie They Live. If you haven't seen the movie They Live, it's a great movie and I highly recommend it because it's one of my favorite films of all time. Made by John Carpenter, who is a little bit more, I would argue, left-leaning, but his movie They Live was originally made as a criticism of Ronald Reagan's economics. Personally, I think Ronald Reagan is a great president. I know I'm not supposed to give my opinion, but although They Live was originally a criticism of Ronald Reagan's politics, I think it's interesting how over time it's become very critical of the more leftist politics, especially regarding the whole NPC meme and how there's been a very, very hard push towards internet censorship from the left. But back to our story. Community developer Laura Caudry elaborated by telling us Ubisoft is always inspired by what's happening around us, and it's always our goal to stay authentic. But the story does remain fictional. Perfect. Great. Good for you. Give it a couple of days and leftists are going to be losing their minds because you decided to stay out of politics. I think it's a great thing. Many Ubisoft games touch on political topics, such as The Division 2's defense of the White House in Washington, D.C., or Far Cry 5's disaffected, ostracized community and Donald Trump references. However, Ubisoft executives have previously described engaging in politics in video games as bad for business. Well, yeah. Did you see what happened to Gillette? Do I need to remind you about the surplus of memes that came from this? I mean, seriously. But, all in all, I think this is a great move on Ubisoft's part. They didn't get woke, and I believe that they won't go broke because of this. Unlike, Netflix. Yikes. Well, I think that's about it for today. I'm Chase Euclid from SJW Central. You have a great day.